Let's go over to JP. Talk to us a little bit about the Army Black Knights going into this season. Obviously, a team highly regarded, team that was way up there in the conference last year.
Mhm.
So we're starting you off with the bang. Tell us about the Black Knights headed into 2025.
Absolutely. Get to cover another service academy here. A ton of fun, obviously. Looking through kind of what Army is and what the program is. It's Jeff Monken in his 12th year, right? They go 12-2 a season ago, win the American Athletic Conference. You look at what they were last year, and honestly, like it was kind of a star-powered Army team. Like you had a good quarterback in Daly. You had Udo, who's a really good running back. You had pieces on the edge that are now at Georgia. Like there are pieces all over this place, and then the star power came with it. That's why you saw a ton of success out of Army a season ago, right? Now let's flip, the page to 2025. What's that bring? A lot of solid returning production, like a lot of really good pieces come back all over the place, but you lose that high-end talent via the portal and graduation, right? Like there's guys that left, you bring back a ton though, and I think that's something to really outline in service academies is even if like your stars and studs aren't coming back, there are people waiting in the wings that have the ability to step in and do that. So let's start on the offense, as I know that is a big piece. Dwayne Coleman got a start last year, actually, against Air Force. It looks to take the reins here in 2025 as the quarterback running the option for the Black Knights. This is a guy who isn't as big as Daly, not quite as quick. It's a different kind of runner, right? And that's okay within the option attack. You can kind of fit your scheme and how a guy runs is it's a lot of scheme. It's a lot of just being able, we've talked about this before, being able to handle the football and be a little bit of a magician with it, right? So this is a guy they feel can really take that step forward. Now, don't expect the crazy production that Daly had. The guy finished, like sixth in the Heisman voting, something like that a season ago, but expect him to maybe get his feet under him and still move this offense forward. Now, you lose a running back. That's really good and now at Arizona State. But with Udo leaving, you still have a really good fullback and tailback room. Like, I think there's still pieces there that can really help them out. It's going to be a little more spread out carries wise. It's not going to be one bell cow that's kind of doing all of this for them. That happens at service academies, but when they have a talent like Udo, they really did use him a ton a season ago, over 1,000 yards rushing, I believe. And going into this year, they think there's pieces there. Fullback Hayden Reed is a piece that is going to get a lot of carries, and then tailback Noah Short, two guys they're really high on over there at West Point. The offensive line was the Joe Moore Award winner a season ago, best offensive line in the country. Brings back a couple of guys there. They are going to have a couple first-team all-conference guys. They're going to have guys, fighting to be in that All-American slot as well. And then you look at Paolo Generali. I think I hit that name on the head. I'm not going to lie. Hopefully I did. Pronunciation police out there. And Brady Small. Those are two guys along the offensive line that help out a ton. Now you look at like how the receivers go. It's probably one of the more it's not as talented as some of the receivers have been in Army in the past, but that's okay. Just based on things, they got to get them scheme these guys open for the most part, right? Go to the defensive side of things. Now, Army a season ago played pretty good defense. You go back and look at their schedule and who they played and how they were, right? Top 40 in S&P Plus 3 times in the last 5 years. I don't think that could be understated too much when you are a team that, like, I always think like with service academies when they have good defenses, you go into practice every week and practice against the option and stuff, but your scout team players, right? It's a tough job to mock those offenses that they never run. You've never seen a team do that. You don't have the skill sets a lot of these other teams do, especially a receiver, quarterback, and maybe even the tight end position spots. So that's always something really impressive there. Defensive line, ton of guys get snaps a season ago, and they've been great at slowing the run. I think that's their bread and butter. Slow the run, make people beat you over the top. Linebacking core, high responsibility within this. There's talent. There's 2 good returners that'll come back in that unit. Front 6 or 7 can be really good for them. Top 2 corners leave. These are guys that were highly touted and ended up transferring away. But you kind of look how things lined up, and I think they're going to be just as good in the secondary. They may not be as great on the edges, but they feel like they can plug some pieces in and really get things rolling in that direction. And then you kind of look at this thing as a whole. If you want to get back to 12-2, if you want to get back to a chance at an American Athletic Conference championship, there's a lot of things that have to go right. It may look like a little bit of a different Army team. Like I said, less star power, a lot of guys that have to step up and make plays, but there's a lot of really good, solid pieces already there to help those guys get settled in. Defensively, linebackers, Khalib Fortner and Andon Thomas, and then safety, Casey Larkin. Those are 3 guys that are really going to make names for themselves this year. Schedule-wise, man, non-con, tougher than it appears. I think Air Force, obviously, anytime you play a Commander-in-Chief trophy game, Air Force is going to be better. We talked about them when we did the Mountain West preview, and then they got Kansas State as well. Kansas State, obviously not happy if you listen to Jake's thing with the Kansas State fellows. They're like, yeah, why are we scheduling Army of all people? That's never fun to deal with the option, especially when it's a good Army team. And then, they avoid Memphis, but they are road warriors, right? ECU, UTSA, Tulane. Those are 3 teams that are picked towards the top of this conference, all on the road. So I think there are parts of the schedule that get tough for them. Army's not scared of going on the road, but going on the road is going on the road, especially in this conference that has some really good home environments. So excited to see what Army has in 2025 and what differences this team is from 2024.
I love the service academies now being a part of conferences because I think there's a good majority of college football fans that maybe got lost in Army being as good as they were last year after they dropped that last game to Navy. Like you couldn't really get across that they were undefeated in the conference and did what they did as a part of the American, which was our best G5 conference of last year. So it's good to get a refresher on them for college football fans to know that, hey, they're still here and they're still damn good. So good preview there, JP. Any thoughts on the Black Knights from Jake?
Just like roster turnover. Army's going to have plug and play guys. Like they're used to guys like graduating and leaving. This isn't anything new, even though the NIL and the portal stuff is new to them. But like it was like a guy like Mendoza, he's going to be a stud. And obviously JP already highlighted Udo. And then Bryson Daly's kind of a once in every 5-10 years kind of guy. I think Coleman will be fine, but he's like nobody can replace what Bryson Daly will be or was last year. I raised the question, do you think this group is like okay with going 7-4, 8-3, and then just taking a week off and then they want to play Navy fresh? I got the feeling that they were like more, I don't know. It was weird. It was like,
the Army Navy game felt bigger than anything.
100%. I think I posed that question to you guys.
They were proud to win the conference, but like,
yeah. I think I posed a question to you guys. I was like, if you're Navy or you're Army, would you rather win the American as a conference or would you rather beat Army or Navy? Like, would you rather have that game? Like, I got to be honest, it feels like they'd rather have the Army Navy game. And that's not to slouch what a conference title does for a program or a school, right? But that game means so much to so many. It felt like it held a little extra weight.
I think if it doesn't have playoff implications on the line, which last year's clearly didn't, I think they would rather win the Navy game. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, it's the national scale, right? Like you have the spotlight. It's the one week that those 2 programs, they stand alone. I mean, everybody was tuned into it. Everybody usually watches it. And I mean, the NFL tries to take it away, but it's still
I was going to say, they threw one bowl game on there last year at night. I can't remember which one it was.
It was the Dog Water Bowl game. I remember going to it.